Welcome to Chatham University. Did you know that this campus is actually an arboretum? Follow me, we're going to see some of the most beautiful plants you've ever seen with great winter interest.
We are an official arboretum designated through the APGA, which is the American Public Garden Association, which means we are also free to get in anytime that your little heart desires. There are parameters on the website over parking.
But many of the plants then need to be labeled, right? So people know
Yes.
what they are.
So we've been labeling all of our trees and plants over the past few years so that people are able to tour, and should they see something, they can read it and find out what it actually is.
So let's talk about plants with winter interest. There's not a lot for gardeners to do right now, so it's a good time to take a look at these plants without their leaves on them in most cases. And think about planting something so that next year they'll have some cool plants with winter interest. And even on our walk up here, we saw the Clematis.
Yes, so we saw the Clematis, the sweet autumn clematis, or the traveling beard, or goat's beard. I think it has a bunch of common names. The sweet autumn clematis seed head stays around for the beginning part of winter before it gets dispersed, and it looks like it's a little piece of a man's beard, and then it's really beautiful and delicate looking, especially if it's covered with snow.
If people want a more reliable blooming hydrangea, this oak leaf is it, I think.
Have to agree with you.
And when plants have more than one season of interest, you've got those flowers are white, and then they're pink, and then you got the red leaves and the exfoliating bark. It's a great plant. It's doing well here, huh?
Doing very well here. They've taken off in the past 5 years.
And man, this stuff, that's winter interest.
That is winter interest, 4-season interest.
But you can see
It's very invasive.
Yeah, it's jumping up in here, but I'd take that.
I take that all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
It's more functional than the grass.
Oh, that's for sure. Beautyberry might be a one-trick pony, but what a trick.
What a trick. It is beautiful, isn't it? Chatham purple, so we try and put it all around campus, but it's native too, and it has really pretty white flowers in the spring.
Well, not much winter interest left here, but the birds have eaten your winterberry, and that's okay.
That's okay.
Good thing.
Feed everybody, right?
That's right.
Talk about winter interest. So we have a sugar time crabapple here. You can see how beautiful the berries are, the apples, which are not for people, but for birds, obviously. And then we have red twig dogwoods all over on campus, which are also this beautiful shade of red year-round, big part of holiday decorations. We have some beautiful winter blooming jasmine, which has a yellow flower.
Now, where you have that planted, does it need to be in a protected spot like that, or could it be out in the open?
It can be out in the open. When that thing explodes, it is beautiful. It looks like it's forsythia. We have hellebores, also called Lenten rose, which aren't blooming yet, but bloom right around the Lent season.
And then you were also talking about when you walked up here, the sycamore trees, and when the snow comes and the sun hits them.
And it's really a beautiful sight. Right after the sun opens up after snowfall, we have these sycamore trees that are in the middle of our woods, as well as going down Woodland Road, and the light hits their white bark or their light tan bark, and it really makes a beautiful visual interest sticking out of the woods.
Well, let's stick with the sycamore and plants like it. Is there anything else you can think of that has a really interesting bark, an exfoliating bark? One thing I saw on the way up was oak leaf hydrangea, which looked cool.
We have oak leaf hydrangeas, we have taxus, we have witch hazel on campus.
All right, I gotta stop you at witch hazel, because that is a cool plant.
Yes, it is.
There aren't many that bloom in the winter, and that's one of them. Talk about the magic of witch hazel.
So the magic of witch hazel is that it blooms in the winter, and it blooms in a lot of different colors. And there's also a variety that blooms in the fall. There is the Ozark witch hazel, which is more central, but it has the red color. And then our native Virginia variety, which is the yellow. They also look like little pieces of hair, off of the branch. So another great tree for winter interest is this paperbark maple over here. It's a 4-season guy. It has beautiful fall color, and obviously it has this fun, smooth bark underneath, and the paper bark that you can just remove.
Very cool.
So our lacebark elm, our Chinese lacebark elm, is resistant to Dutch elm disease, and it is a really beautiful 4-season interest tree. It is a dirty tree though, and it takes a lot to keep your sidewalk and surrounding area clean of its tiny little leaves or its really beautiful seeds that are remaining that'll fall down soon.
Are you a tree hugger?
I am a tree hugger. I'm a tree lover.
Since you're so busy, even in the winter, do you get a chance to stop and so-called smell the roses, but in this case, look at these beautiful barks?
So I definitely do, and everybody on campus knows that I'm the crazy person that stops and takes pictures of everything and lays down in the middle of the road if the picture looks good. I don't get to as much as I would like to, but you know, I make sure that I do. The architecture of all of the trees, this is my favorite time to look at them, so I get to really stop and look at the oaks and probably the sycamores mostly.
What is it with the oaks that you like?
Their branching structure is really fantastic. It starts very upright and then it unfolds to the lateral. But oak trees don't lose their leaves until usually February, sorry. So it's really interesting in the landscape. Everything else is bare, but then you'll see the orange leaves holding on. Nature makes the most beautiful things, and this was all underground.
Oh, it's so sad because this was such an amazing tree, but that's part of gardening.
That is part of gardening and repurposing things.
Yeah, it's cool that this is going to be saved.
It will be saved.
Become a piece of art. How do you feel when a tree that is so beautiful passes away?
It's very hard because I've spent a lot of time with these trees in, you know, all 4 seasons. So if it's a beautiful tree that has a really special place in our Chatham heritage, we try and preserve it and reuse it on campus, whether it be for a Christmas decoration or at the president's home or maybe a permanent installation piece. The joy of seeing the winter garden is you can see all of the squirrels climbing up in the trees, you can see all of the fruit that they may have not dropped yet, and the beauty of just branches. They don't need anything, just maybe some lights, but you know, nature makes all these beautiful things that you just have to look at it.
Well, thanks very much for having us.
Thanks so much for coming,
fun.
Doug. It's been a wonderful visit.
Everything looks great.
Thank you so much. It takes a lot of work.
I know.
Which you know.
Yep.
But with hard work comes beautiful things.
Right. For more information about Chatham University's Arboretum and a complete story on the plants here with winter interest, check me out online. That's also where you can become a member of my Seed of the Month Club. Till next week, we're going to have some fun exploring the Arboretum. We'll see you then.